It is Tuesday, December 10th, and honey, it's like someone threw the whole pot of spaghetti at the wall. So, before I get too far into, I want to say so much. And I already recorded 2 episodes, and I'm deciding right now if I'm still going to post those and if this is a part 3 or if what I'm doing. So bear with me if I'm repetitive because I might repeat some points. But I want to hammer in the redirect we are seeing an attempt with in the lamestream media, right? And I just want to remind everyone that while these folks are telling us that this country isn't about, taking people out in cold blood, and that's not what we believe in, just remember that this same week they let go of the dude who killed that homeless guy on the subway. We don't want to hear it. And I want everyone to keep that shit in mind when they try to get the ants to go back to pointing at each other, because that's what they're trying to do. That's what they want with this. It is an intentionally weird and confusing situation that they are televising the fuck out of with the intent of getting us to start arguing between ourselves again, instead of realizing that the real line that needs to be addressed is the one going up, not the one going across. And we need to keep that in view and in mind. However, I do think they're shooting themselves in the foot, because the more they talk about it and the more pieces they tell about the story. Uh-oh, my light went out. Hang on. The more pieces they bring out, even though it's confusing, and like I said, it's intentional that they're putting out conflicting information and different photos and making it so that people have to talk about it because it just doesn't make sense and it's ludicrous. I mean, it's a wonderful distraction trap. It really is. But the spirit of it, I think, backfired, and it's the ants are paying attention now, and they're going to try to break that up, and they are making it worse by trying to break it up. Like when you tell someone not to go out with that guy, you tell your teenager, right? Don't you date them. That's horrible for you. Well, now you just sealed it, because that's pretty much the more they complain and try to get us to feel bad for the elite ruling class and try to, it's too late. So, all right. I know I already said all that. I think I really just kind of wanted to super clarify part of what we're waiting for and why some of us are starting to get more and more excited as time goes on, when it seems like it should be the opposite, right? It's because if you're paying attention to the details of it, on the back end, there have been ongoing signs, and we're at the part where it's getting loud enough that even the other side can notice it. But we are at the point where we're rolling up on these certifications, and that is the transaction point. If this were a drug bust, that would be the point that, okay, at this point moving forward, we're clear to go ahead and start making some arrests. So not saying it will happen immediately. I'm just saying that's like the point. So nothing in terms of interference from like the Bureau could happen until that happens. Okay, so that's number one. That had to be waited for. That's part of it. Like I said in one of the other videos, it's not a scripted TV show. The cops don't go in on a hunch. And also keep in mind that this is probably very big, probably international, probably not just us and not just about our guy, but about, Mr. Putin-esque over there. So if that's all the case, yeah, you're not looking at they're not going to roll in the instant of. This is going to be something that has to be handled very delicately, but handled all the same. We're also waiting for, there was an executive order signed into law. I know I'm supposed to say like 138C. I don't know. I put it in one of my videos. And it's an order that requires investigations of test results. And it was done by Dumpty when he was trying to show that he's the good guy. In fact, so is that ethics paperwork that he refuses now to sign. That was one of his things that he enacted, and now he doesn't want to sign it. His team has signed an amended partial copy of it, but he hasn't signed his. And that's because he doesn't want to disclose who's funding the transition, who's paying for all these trips and the entourage, and, is it who Okay, so anyway, he's not signing that, and that was his. And this investigation thing was something he said for his terms, right? Well, Joe Biden, extended it. And so there is now a required check of the test that's in place. These are the things that have been rolling behind the scenes that you're not seeing on the headlines, okay? So they have until, I believe it's like the end of the month. It's like 45 days from the test or something. Don't quote me on the exact timeline, but there's a timeline set that the other team has to provide any proof or evidence of fiddling about. That deadline is starting to come up. And you really think that the sitting administration that has access to multiple bureaus, branches, at their full disposal, and this is something they've been aware of since at least 2016, and you think they got nothing, they're not going to turn anything in. If you weren't sure, because I know a lot of people hop in and go, well, that doesn't mean anything, they're not going to do anything. I get bots all the time. Well, yeah, the Dems are just going, they're not going to do nothing. Well, then I raise you this. There is, and I'm the least versed on this, so bear with me if I butcher the terms of it. I believe it is called the letter of ascertainment, and there is a specific discerning governing group. Again, I'm forgetting the name of this board, but it's totally part of the process, the official process of transfer of power. This letter can't be sent until everything is cleared. Okay, there's no investigations, no lawsuits, no claims, no suspicions, no nothing. Usually this letter is sent out within like a week or two of the test because there isn't really the numbers come in, no one can test, we move on. 2020 was the largest gap, where instead of it being sent around like maybe the 10th of the month, it was like the 23rd. And that was because there were all those claims and suits and a big hubbub, and you heard about it on TV because the man was loud about it. Remember, he was the one who made the claims in the first place. It wasn't other people saying, hey, we found numbers that don't make sense. It was him just going, if I didn't win, it's because someone, that was it. And there was never any, they went to court, nothing was substantiated, and still to this day, they refuse to accept the truth. And now when we talk about it, we're tainted because we know math and numbers, and now we just sound like them. If you do this and put your fingers in your ears and don't listen to the details, because we're not over here going, I just feel like it's not fair. We're going, there are 1 in 84 million chances of this happening. There's a statistical impossibility of that happening, and all of them happening at the same time is astronomical. So like, We just want someone to take a peek. Oh yeah, and the international world is talking about it. So like, it's also not just us. Like, other people on the outside that have nothing to gain or lose from this are like, you might want to look at that. So like, totally different. Not our feelings at all. That letter has not been sent out yet. It is December 10th, darling. It's never made it into December before. All right? Which means there are a lot of official actions behind the scenes that haven't started rolling yet because there are open concerns. And we're just not hearing about them because our team isn't yelling to the sky and trying to prove it by activating the base into a mob. You understand? Because that would be them. What's happening is we've got Mr. Elias, who has at least 50 plus open cases that he announced like a week or two ago, that they've been going on since November. He just didn't announce it until recently. And who knows what else has been provided or going on that we don't know about that is keeping this governing board from issuing this letter of ascertainment, officially clearing everything and officially starting the full transitional process. Did you need more? Did you need more? Popcorn and patience, baby.